everyone, welcome back to my channel. So normally when I do these videos, I have like a goal or some series I'm reviewing or something that I'm talking about, but today we're doing something a little bit different and we're just kind of going to be all over the place because everything that I have consumed recently, I have not had a goal in mind, and usually I have something that I'm trying to accomplish. But I have not had that, and I have had a lot of things that I've wanted to talk about with no general through line. So we're gonna hop all over the place, all over the spectrum, and hopefully you will see something that you like. But yeah, so we're gonna be talking about basically everything memorable that I've consumed from September through December of this year. Um, we're gonna go a little bit before that in one section, but yeah, generally that's what we're gonna be talking about. So, yeah, first category that we're going to kind of be talking about today is video games. I've split this up into categories just to like, I don't know, make it a little bit more organized. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about video games that I have consumed in this time period first. First game that I'm going to be talking about is Silk Song. So I got Silk Song when it first came out in early September. This is a game that I have been anticipating for a very long time. If anybody knows my history with Hollow Knight, that has been a game that has really tested me over the years. I first got Hollow Knight when I was in high school, couldn't finish it because it was too hard. I tried again when I was in college, couldn't finish it because it was too hard. And then when Silk Song was announced, obviously been in development for a very long time, but then when rumors were kind of saying like, hey, like shit's kind of picking up and it's going to come out this year, I was like, okay, I need to actually like pedal to the metal. I need to actually finish Hollow Knight. So earlier this year, I finished Hollow Knight. Great game. It's kind of been like a benchmarker, I guess, for like my progress in video games in general and how I've just been getting better as I've played more games. Go figure. But I have kind of like, I did my pregame, I did Hollow Knight, and so I was very excited for Silk Song to actually come out. And I thought that Silk Song was really excellent. I know people have complaints about it, and I totally understand where they're coming from, especially the complaints about boss runbacks. Usually, that is the thing that will drive me fucking crazy and I will be unable to finish a game if there is a boss runback that is too crazy. That is, I mean, that's why I never got into Dark Souls. That's why I'm too scared to play Bloodborne, is because boss runbacks like make me so unbelievably frustrated that I don't have fun anymore. But what really surprised me about Silk Song is that the boss runbacks didn't make me too angry. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm changing. I'm getting patient in my old age. But I thought that the bus runbacks were definitely annoying, but they didn't instill the like primal rage within me that they have historically. Um, and like when I first saw the run back to The Last Judge, I was like, fuck, this is gonna drive me crazy. But it honestly didn't. I feel like none of the runbacks were too punishing or obnoxious. I felt like some of them definitely pushed it, but they were generally under 2 minutes, and avoiding regular enemies was pretty easy. I also went into this game with the expectation that boss runbacks would be hard because that's a thing in Hollow Knight. Um, and uh, so I knew that because I had done that kind of boss runback situation in Hollow Knight, I could do it in Silksong. Um, Hunter's March was, if you've played the game, you know, everybody knows Hunter's March is the area that tested my patience the most. But I have been trained and hardened by the Celeste Mines. I am the type of masochist who genuinely enjoys platforming challenges. I prefer, honestly, platforming challenges to combat challenges. So while it was definitely difficult, it was a challenge that I enjoyed doing. It took a bit to get the diagonal jump just because that was different from Hollow Knight. And so, like, you know, the orientation of it all, it takes a minute to like figure out where you're going. But once I got the hang of it, then Hunter's March was definitely doable. And then I found the Hunter's Crest later on, and that was literally the only thing I used for the rest of the game. I know some people think that's crazy, but the downward jump is so helpful. It's so nice. And like, yes, it's slower than it is in Hollow Knight, but that also just took a little bit of adjustment, but it's so much like more natural to the combat style that I like to just have a downward swing that adjusting the timing was easier than like getting used to one of the other crests with different movesets. Um, I do think that I honestly think that Silk Song is a better game than Hollow Knight, which is crazy. I think that everything that was done in Silk Song was tighter, more fun, with more variety. The changes that Team Cherry made to the combat was really fun. The one thing that I could have definitely utilized more were the tools, but I'm one of those people that when it comes to consumables, I will never use them because I'm always afraid that like I will run out when I really need them or like so I just always will basically go without. And since all of the tools were consumable in some regard, I just never really used them unless I absolutely had to. So there was two kind of fights. That gauntlet in the choir room, I think. That one really hard, really hard. If you played the game, you know how hard it is. But I used tools for that one because I genuinely had no choice. Like I had to lock the fuck in to beat that. That was really hard. But I didn't really use them outside of that, unless like outside of situations where I was really struggling, which luckily for me didn't happen all that often in Silk Song. I definitely struggled, like to be completely honest, but I would say that the only fight that really kicked my teeth in was the choir room gauntlet. Um, so I also never really used any of the silk tools because each piece of silk collected I had to use towards my health. So I never really used the shot thing or the circle thing. I didn't really use any of those just because I had to use every piece of silk towards health. Um, and most of the time, my strategy for video games is genuinely an old faithful abuser. I find something that works and I will not deviate unless I absolutely have to. There's a reason I only used basically one sword in all of Elden Ring until I absolutely had to change. I think that most people do not play like me, so that's great. The option is there, the variety is there. Another thing that I liked about Silk Song is that its story is a bit easier to understand than Hollow Knight. I did not know really the main lore or a lot of the main story when I was actually playing Hollow Knight. I was having fun exploring and fighting bosses, so I wanted to know more. And I hadn't really, which is why I Googled stuff later, but I had no really idea about the Radiance or the Pale King or any of that when I was actually playing. So with Silk Song, it's fun to have a protagonist who actually speaks and also a world that's a bit easier to understand. The whole time I knew what Hornet was working towards, as opposed to you don't really know what Hollow Knight is working towards because he's not even the Hollow Knight. So yeah, it's a bit confusing. But and even in side quests, Hornet, I knew why she was doing them. Though I will admit that I did not engage the story of Silksong as much as I could have. I did not get Act 3 because I didn't know how to do it. So I fought Grandmother Silk, and then that was it. That was the end of the game. So I didn't know. I didn't know what I was supposed to do to get to Act 3. I think I need to like keep going. Like I beat Grandmother Silk, but I think I just need to like keep going and doing other stuff. But I don't know. I was kind of like ready to move on at that point. So this is kind of like the semester 3 of Persona 5 Royal, where I did not know that it existed and thus did not activate it when I played the game. Whoops. However, even if I might have accidentally cut myself a little bit short with Silk Song, I still had a lot of fun with the story. I also really enjoyed the environments and the music in Silk Song, but that thing's kind of obvious, like, duh, the art's gonna be good. I really loved how distinct all the different areas were and how they all felt, but how they all felt cohesive within the region. Overall, I really liked Silk Song. I thought it was a very, very well made game, and I had a lot of fun playing it. I really like doing the side quests. I like expanding the world, and because this game is only $20, it's really hard to not fully recommend this game to people. But although I would suggest playing Hollow Knight first, mostly for difficulty reasons. But I had so much fun with this game that I would bring my Switch to work and like play on my breaks because I just wanted to keep playing. Like it was just I just had a really good time with it. I don't know. I really like this game a lot. If anyone is curious about it, I would absolutely recommend it. Okay, next game is Silent Hill F. If you saw my Silent Hill 2 video, then you know how much I love Silent Hill. Um, I thought that Silent Hill F was really excellent. I liked it a lot. As a recent convert to horror games in general, I was really excited to finally experience my first new Silent Hill game, which I guess for a lot of people, it was a lot of people's first new Silent Hill game because it's been a long time since a mainline Silent Hill game has come out. I really enjoyed this game a lot. It was scary, and there were several points that made me jump. And then the ritual rooms, bro, like I literally had to go on my phone like during some of those scenes because they were scary and they were disturbing. But I liked the story a lot. It took me a bit to actually understand what was going on, which is obviously the point. I was using my knowledge of Silent Hill 2 to kind of help me understand what was going on, which led me to the wrong conclusions. When Hinako first went to the dream world, I was like, oh, this is like the other world from Silent Hill 2. But then I realized that my initial assessment didn't quite fit. The whole time I was like, what did Hinako do? What made her feel so guilty that she created a Silent Hill for herself? Why are her friends here too? Did they all do something together? But the more you explore the dream world and the real world, the answers start to become clear. I think that's why I love the Silent Hill series so much. Yes, the horror elements are definitely fun, but I really like the mystery. Trying to figure out what's really going on with these characters is such a fun and intriguing puzzle to figure out. Figuring out Hinako's story was incredibly fun for me. I won't spoil it in case anyone wants to play this game, but I really liked when I found out what the dream world symbolized and what Hinako was actually going through. The ending that I got definitely bummed me out a lot, but it made me feel really miserable. But I learned that that's the ending that everybody gets on their first playthrough, so that made me feel a little bit better that this was kind of like designed as like the first ending you get, and then if you play again, then you can get endings that are a little bit more favorable to Hinako. But and I do want to play this game again and hopefully get different endings, but I might need to take a bit of a break because this game made me feel really miserable. I played it over 2 days and I was just like, fuck, like definitely one of those where you feel like you got kicked in the stomach, but it was still really good. Another thing that I really like about Silent Hill is how it conveys its themes. I thought that this game approached its main theme, which again I won't spoil, in a really interesting way. I love how they didn't show their hand until the very end, and all the pieces really click into place about what's been happening. The reason I'm not spoiling it is because I loved figuring out the mystery for myself, and I want to give other people the ability to do that. Just on the off chance that one person hears me and is like, oh, that sounds interesting, I want to give it a try. I also really liked combat. I liked how Hinako in the real world and Hinako in the dream world began to differ and how that affected combat. I felt so guilty for having fun with combat in the dream world because everything that I was doing was causing Hinako so much pain, and like or it was a result of her having experienced so much pain. But I was having fun. I'm sorry, girl. Um, because there are only really two difficulties. There's either easy or hard. There's when you play Silent Hill. I don't really come to Silent Hill to like have a particularly challenging combat experience. And you can also have there's two different difficulties. It's like you either have easy or hard for combat or easy or hard for puzzles. So I played on easy for combat and hard for puzzles, which was definitely the right combination for me. I enjoyed figuring out the puzzles for sure. I liked deciphering the poems or hints around me. And then I liked not struggling in combat too much. The difficulty definitely worked for me, even though I finished this game in just under 9 hours. I felt like I needed a drink after it was done. It was a game that I really loved for sure. Definitely putting it somewhere near Resident Evil 8, since they both took me around the same time to finish. But I will say that I like Silent Hill 2 remake a little bit more, but honestly, they're pretty close. And I know that's a hot take. I don't know why people didn't really like love this game so much, but I thought it was really good. I don't know. I liked it a lot. Yeah, and I will definitely replay it at some point in the future when I'm feeling very brave and strong. And because it was pretty depressing, obviously. Okay, next game we're talking about is Ghost of Yotei. I just finished playing this game. I played it, or I finished it this week. Yeah, earlier this week, which I really did enjoy this game a lot. My super hot take about Ghost of Tsushima is that even though I really enjoyed that game and played it for many hours, the main story did not really hook me. I was not really super invested in Jin or his stories, and I wasn't really sure why. I'm not sure if I would feel the same if I replayed it now, because like the Ghost of Tsushima came out in COVID, and I was kind of in a fog at the time. So like, it's possible that if I played it now, I would feel differently. But my memories of Ghost of Tsushima is more with the actual combat and like exploring rather than like too much of the story. Um, but I was definitely more into Ghost of Yotei's story. I can get behind a simple, clean revenge story. The combat in this game was really fun. I feel like that was my favorite element. I really liked the different weapons, how they were used, and also parrying. Duh. That was all really satisfying and fun to do over and over. I basically did all of the side content in the game because it's just really fun to go around fighting guys. The graphics were really beautiful. The landscape and environments were genuinely breathtaking all the time. Every time you discovered some new area in Ezo, every turn there would be something so incredibly beautiful that it would just kind of knock you on your ass. I have, and this is like total side thing, but in Ghost of Yotei and in Silent Hill F, there's fox gods that you pray to, and the fox gods in Silent Hill F are fucking scary and they do bad shit. And the fox gods in Ghost of Yotei are very helpful, and they give you little charms, and the foxes are helpful. And I was like, man, what the fuck did my girl Hinako do to Inari-sama to warrant this treatment? Like, oh my god. But I just thought it was really funny that I was playing these two like Japanese games back to back. Well, Ghost of Yotei wasn't made in Japan, but set in Japan, where you have fox gods, and the treatment of the two main characters could not have been more different by these fox gods. I was like, damn, that's crazy. Anyway, so I did like the story in Ghost of Yotei, but I did also have some gripes with it. Um, I really like Atsu, and I enjoyed her two close buddies, Oyuki and her brother Jubei. Kiku was very cute too. I liked her. I was genuinely very invested in all of the story up until the very end. So if you don't want spoilers, then keep going, but or like skip this part, but I'm going to talk about the very ending of this game. I really liked the climactic final fight with Lord Saito. I thought it was good, but I really did not like Jubei's death. I thought it was really anticlimactic and just kind of thrown in there. Like he just kind of like popped up and then died immediately. Like it felt so manufactured and awkward. Like Atsu and Lord Saito are fighting, and Jubei doesn't need to be there. Like he has already left by this point. And then he comes to like save Atsu, and then he dies immediately. So it's just like, oh, okay, great. Like I don't really feel anything about this. I don't know. um and I like called that he was gonna die because I was like, this is too easy. Like somebody's gonna die, and I think it's Jubei. But I don't know. I was just like, eh. And another part of it is that I think that I didn't love with the story is that it's really difficult to do a revenge mission where in the end the protagonist changes their mind after The Last of Us 2. And I realize that these games are very different and they're trying to accomplish very different things. But I feel like because I'm such a Last of Us 2 shill, that there are things that that game does that I love so much that I feel like really accomplish its goal very well. That when I see it done differently, or when I see it not quite putting as much thought into certain elements that I kind of think less of it a little bit. So I the thing is that Atsu has been fighting, she's been going after members of the Yote Six, who are this gang that killed her parents. Great. Awesome. Love that. But as it kind of goes on, Jubei and Oyuki are telling her, and they're like, hey, you should give this up. Like, you're kind of getting lost in the sauce here, and, like, you should give up this revenge mission. But the thing is that, like, Atsu killing these Yote Six is a good thing. Like, they have, like, caused the Yote Six have basically kind of split up by this point, not really, but kind of, and they're like ruling different parts of Ezo. So her killing all of these guys is a net positive. Like, she is freeing the whole island from the influence of these men who have done nothing but cause pain and suffering for absolutely everybody. So her doing this is a good thing. She is freeing people. It's all a net positive. And to be honest, it's not really affecting her that negatively. Like, there's this kind of moment where she like the big like samurai castle or whatever is getting raided by Saito's two sons, and Atsu is like, yes, I'm gonna stay and fight and kill this one dude. And Oyuki and Jubei are like, you're making the wrong call. We're gonna go fight these guys inside the castle. And she's like, no, I gotta kill like Saito's sons. And then this leads to her brother and Oyuki getting kidnapped. But the thing is I'm not sure if her being there would have absolutely prevented them from getting kidnapped. And killing the dragon is a good thing. Like, it's a good thing. It's not like, okay, the worst thing is that they get kidnapped and then she frees them. Okay, cool. And it's really not affecting her personally that much. Like, in The Last of Us 2, even without, sorry, spoiling stuff here, but even without playing as Abby, you would still see how this revenge mission takes fucking everything from Ellie. By the end of the game, she has nothing and no one. Like, she is completely, entirely alone. It has taken literally everything from her. So even if you didn't have Abby's perspective, you would see how much this revenge mission has completely taken its toll on Ellie and how completely destroyed she is by the end of it. So, and Atsu does not go through like anywhere close to that level of like personal anguish, or like the revenge mission doesn't personally take things from her. In fact, it like gives her things because she finds her brother, she makes friends with Oyuki. So like she's kind of gaining things, and then she's gaining freedom for the island. So it's like, why does she need to stop? Like, she doesn't need to stop. She's doing good things. So that was really like kind of disconnected for me. And I understand that, like, for a story game, like, if she just kind of killed everybody, that would be really boring. But I don't know. I didn't think that it was handled as well as it could have been. So I was like, not, I wasn't super a fan of the ending, but to preface, I really enjoyed the like 60 hours that I played before that. And I still do think of the game positively, even if I think that the ending could have been done better. Um, I don't know. I just, it's like she has to give up on the revenge mission, but she still kills everybody except for the spider. And the spider had a change of heart very quickly. And she still kills Saito. Like, I don't know. It's just like it felt kind of like half-assed a little bit. Like they wanted to maybe do something more interesting, but they didn't want to like diverge too much from the like revenge narrative. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like it all could have been done better. Um I really liked the sections with the Oni and the Kitsune. Those were really fun. And I liked fighting everybody, and not to flex, but I did in fact beat Takuzo very early on in the game. I beat him after I beat the Oni, which was the first guy that I went after. Um, I that fight was really hard, but I enjoyed that and I beat him and I'm very proud of myself. Thank you. Um, but I think that, so just to kind of, I thought that the game was very good. I really liked it. I thought the story could have been better, but it wasn't terrible. And really, my only gripes were with like the end of it. So if that's my only gripe, then I feel like it did a pretty good job of everything before that. Um, okay, next game is Hades 2. I'm playing Hades 2 currently. I am really enjoying it. I like it quite a bit, which is a good thing because of how much I love Hades 1. Like, I have a tattoo for Hades 1, this one here. So, like, I really love Hades 1. So, I was a little nervous about Hades 2 and, like, oh, would I like it as much as Hades 1? But I do genuinely think that Hades 2 is very excellent. I like it a lot. Um, I think that my training in Hades 1, because I have like 150 hours or something in that game, has definitely paid off here. I'm much better on the jump in Hades 2 than I was in Hades 1. Super Giant, you've done it again. This is a really good game. I haven't beaten Kronos yet. I've gotten to him, but I haven't beaten him yet. The game is, I'm just really enjoying it. I don't know. And I really like that you can now go up to Olympus. I haven't gotten the incantation yet to like break the like depleting health that Mel gets when she's up there, but I'm working on it and I'm almost there. I almost have all the stuff for the incantation. So then I will do that. And it's just really fun. I just have a lot of fun playing it. And I know some people complain about the ending, but I haven't gotten there yet. So I can't really attest to it, but I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I feel like the ending will probably not be too bad. I don't know. I feel like there's no way it'll be that bad, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a lot of fun. I can't wait to play more of it. Okay, so next section that we're going to be talking about are some anime movies because we had two big dogs come out in September and October, and I want to talk about both of them. Okay, so I saw the Chainsaw Man movie. This movie was really good, which, like, duh, obviously. The Rise arc, like, I really love that part of the manga, so I knew this was going to be good, and, like, of course. Um, I've always been, such a champion of Chainsaw Man, and I have been keeping up with part two as well, which I also really like. But it's kind of funny when I was watching the movie, I was like, I kind of miss Asa, which is really funny because she's not in the story yet, but I do kind of miss her a little bit. But anyway, the movie is really, really good. The animation and the soundtrack really stood out. It was like both of them were really amazing. And one thing I really like about the soundtrack is that it doesn't sound like a typical anime soundtrack, which is really cool. I never really listened to anime soundtracks, but I really listened to season one's soundtrack quite a bit. Kensuke Ushio, I trust you with my life and soul. Bro knows what he's doing. The animation was also really detailed and fluid and beautiful. I'm seeing clips on Twitter all the time of people like finding little details that are really easy to miss, which is so cool. I love the rom-com first half and the action-heavy second half. That's really how Chainsaw Man works best, is when you have elements of extreme action blended with really emotional human moments. And I feel like really nobody, I mean, Chainsaw Man is kind of the cream of the crop when it comes to stuff like that. I was not bored for 1 second of this movie. I loved it a lot. Also, Aki Angel, crack cocaine. Those guys know what they're doing with that. Really good. I was on the agenda for them when I read the manga, but then seeing them again in the movie, I did in fact relapse on out of touch, out of time edits. Duh. I cried at the end of the movie, which is funny because I didn't cry when I read that part in the manga. But yeah, I hope that this movie gets nominated for Oscar. I know it won't, but maybe I'll be proved wrong. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, the next anime movie is Demon Slayer. And I also completely love this movie. I've seen a lot of people arguing over which movie is better between Chainsaw Man and Demon Slayer. And I have to say, why must we pit two beautiful queens against each other? The one thing that I will admit is that Chainsaw Man did feel more like a movie like movie structure, while Demon Slayer felt like a whole season of anime just as one movie, which I have no complaints about. I really like that. Both approaches worked great. Though Demon Slayer feeling like a whole season of anime, like I've seen people complain about that, but for me, I didn't have any complaints about it. I thought it worked really well. Um, it's Demon Slayer's animation has always been a real highlight, and it definitely was showcased here. Demon Slayer with movie budget is like fucking peak. That's how you know you're getting the best fights that you've ever seen. Um, I see a lot of people saying that if the animation of Demon Slayer wasn't so good, that people would realize that the story is mid, to which I disagree. As I've gotten older and I've watched a lot more anime, I like to think that my taste has matured a little bit. We hope. The one show that I have famously kind of gone back on is My Hero Academia. I think that that show has its moments, but that it's kind of boring, especially like as it goes on. I think that the beginning has like definitely is better, but then I read the manga and then like the final fight of the manga, I was so checked out. I was so done. So I don't know. I feel like people's complaints about Demon Slayer are more fit to apply to My Hero Academia, just because I feel like my hot take is if My Hero Academia is your favorite anime, then you need to watch more anime because there's a lot of great stuff out there, and My Hero is kind of not really one of them. Even though I can see the appeal, and even though I like the characters, I just feel like the story is, especially the ending, which I've gone into in the past. But I feel like Demon Slayer's story does not fall into a lot of the pitfalls that My Hero does, which, in my opinion, makes it more boring and a little bit more mid. So I feel like people's complaints about Demon Slayer are more aptly applied to My Hero, but I do still, which makes me like Demon Slayer is gas. I feel like it's really good, and I know it's super super popular, which people like complain about or like try to find issues with, but I feel like it earned that popularity. Like I don't know, I just think it's really good. Um, I have not read the manga for this because I love the animation so much. So I am very excited for the next two movies that are be coming out in 2027 and 2029. I'm really bummed that we have to wait that long, but I understand. I know that UFO Table is working their animators to the fucking bone, so I can't complain too much. Um, and one thing that I feel like people say about Demon Slayer is that it's all like hype moments and aura with no substance. When I really disagree, I feel like My Hero again falls into that. Not to shit on that show too much, but that's kind of like falls into hype moments and aura, and not as much story. Or even Solo Leveling, which is a show that I love, which kind of wears its we're only hype moments and aura like on its sleeve. Like we all know why we're here with Solo Leveling, and that's not Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer has a lot more heart to it and substance and story than something like Solo Leveling. Even though I love Solo Leveling, and I think that's a great show. I really think that Demon Slayer's strength is its storytelling. I really love all the characters. I think they're really well written and very interesting. We have a lot of characters that are all pretty distinct and easy to care about. Um, I didn't really, I like to go into these movies like pretty blind. So when I went into this with absolutely no knowledge and I didn't really watch any of the trailers, when Akaza showed up, I was like, what the fuck? I didn't know he would be there. So I was like beaming in the theater. I was so excited to have him show up. And then his Akaza's backstory made me cry. Duh. It was so sad. I really loved the three main fights that we got here. I thought they were done really well. Tanjiro and Denji are both of my sons, so I love both of them. I just do. It was also really cool to finally see Zenitsu like lock the fuck in and get to work. I've been waiting the whole show for that, so that was really exciting. Um, Queen Shinobu, I love her. Doma is an interesting guy. I'm really excited to see more with him. But the Giyu, Tanjiro, and Akaza fight was like the best, obviously. I was genuinely on the edge of my seat like the whole time watching it. It was awesome. So yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was awesome. Okay, so we're moving on to Predator because there was a new Predator movie that came out, Predator Badlands. And since I just had my whole long PowerPoint about Alien and Predator, I want to keep up with it. I want to keep up with talking about Alien and Predator stuff. So we're going to talk about Predator for a little bit. So Predator Badlands was really fun. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was quite as good as Dan Trachtenberg's other two movies in the Predator franchise, Prey and Killer of Killers, but I still had a really good time with Badlands. It was more of it was more of a straight up sci-fi adventure, which I definitely enjoyed. Another aspect that I liked about this is how much it strays from the Predator formula. I like the formula, but when we're 7 movies into a franchise, I really appreciate some variety. Predators was also kind of a break from formula, and I like that movie more than most people do. And I think that I just really like when franchises do something different. I really appreciate that. As much like, for example, as much as I like Alien Romulus, my biggest gripe with that is how similar it is to the original Alien. And I think that's also why I liked Alien Earth so much, was because of how much it strayed from the formula and did something just totally different and off the wall. And I know some people complained about that, but I think those people are dumb because I like when we do something new. Sue me, I like new things. So I really like that this movie wasn't just a predator hunting person type thing. That definitely made this movie feel different from a traditional predator movie, but which this movie is, very aware of. It's not like trying to be something that it's not. Uh, Deck ends the movie not wanting to be a predator. He wants to be with his friends and do his own thing. So I like that this movie gave him a different end goal than what we would expect. I thought the special effects looked really great too. It was a good time. I just had a lot of fun with it. Like, Dan Trachtenberg, please keep making more Predator movies because bro knows what he's doing. He's just like having fun with it, which is really cool. Um, yeah, I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was really fun. Okay, so now we are moving on. So I have historically, I got into anime when I was 20 and have really only engaged with stuff from Japan because of that. And this past uh, July, June, July, one of those 2 months, I got really into learning about or Korean stuff. So we're going to talk about the two kind of main branches of Korean things that I have gotten into. Obviously K-pop. If you saw my Apple Music replay, because yes, I use Apple Music, shoot me. You'll see how much I have gotten into K-pop. I I never really talk about music in these things just because I am such a surface level music listener that I usually don't have really anything analytical to say about music. But as K-pop has kind of become my, well, not most recent, I'll get into that later, but a large overarching hyperfixation, I really want to talk about it because music hyperfixation are rare for me. They do happen, but they're much more rare than visual media since that's usually my bread and butter. But K-pop is awesome. I don't know if people know that, but K-pop fucking rocks. Um my I've been talking about it a lot, so sorry. But my top 5 groups are definitely ATEEZ, Stray Kids, and Hypen, BTS, and EXO. Um, and I really love all of those groups. Like, I just think they're so good. aespa, Twice, and LE SSERAFIM are my favorite girl groups. I really like them a lot. And then I've also recently gotten into more like solo stuff. So obviously, I love Jungkook's solo stuff. Wonho, I fucking love Wonho. His stuff is so good. I love his most recent album. I listen to it so much. It's so good. And then I've also been getting into RM and Jimin's solo stuff. Shocking, I know. Those guys know what they're doing. Um, I really like RM's album, Right Place, Wrong Person. It's just such a vibe. I think his stuff is really good. And yeah, Jimin's stuff is really good too. So I I generally find myself drifting more towards the boy groups, just because I just kind of like the music that they make better. It's more like R&B almost, or I like the kind of pop that they do better than girl groups in general, even though I love aespa and Le Sserafim and Twice. Like, I find myself gravitating more towards boy groups. um I also love Cordis. I've been getting into Close Your Eyes. Those guys are really good. I also really like the group, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Xikers, bikers, kickers, hikers. I don't know how to pronounce it, but those guys are really good. Um, I've been having a lot of fun with it. I don't know, and also Cordis, love Cordis. Those guys are cooking. Crazy that they're all like 17 and they're making music as good as that. But I'm really excited to see what they do forward. I've already been to two K-pop concerts. I've seen ATEEZ and Le Sserafim. Both were incredibly fun. Though there were so many fucking men at the Le Sserafim concert that it was driving me crazy. I've never been to a concert with that ratio of men to women. I'm used to female majority, so I was not a fan of how many men were at Le Sserafim. But it was still fun. I still had a really good time. I'm really, really sad that I didn't get into Stray Kids and Hypen until after their tours were over. I'm so sad. I'm so sad. I literally saw ATEEZ like the day before and Hypen was here, and I didn't know in Hypen. I had just gotten into ATEEZ, and I got those ATEEZ tickets like super last minute, and I didn't even listen to Hypen. And then I'm like, fuck, I should have. I love Hypen so much. I'm like, God damn it. I'm really upset that I didn't see them in concert. And I'm also really upset that I missed Stray Kids because I love Stray Kids. I really do. And their music is so good. So I really, even though I'm like, I know you guys need to take a break. I know you guys really need to take a break. And I know that like Stray Kids, one of their new songs, Holiday, like is literally them singing about how like they need to take a break, which I don't love listening to that song. Sorry, tangent. I don't love listening to Holiday because it feels like that song from Rick and Morty when Rick is a teenager and he's singing and he's like, let me out, let me out. This is not a dance. I'm begging for help. I'm screaming for help. That's what that song sounds like for Stray Kids. And I'm just like, oh, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, can you guys please like let them take a break? Oh my god. They've been singing about this like all year and I feel so bad. Even though I really want to see them in tour and I'm like, please tour again. I'm also like, oh, you guys are singing about being miserable. So please, I guess take your time. I don't know. But I also really love to get back on it. I love the music videos. I love the dance practice videos, especially like as a dancer. I love the dance practice videos. They're so good. Um and yeah, everyone's like, I'm sure everyone's like, oh my god, Sophia, like, what are your top 10 K-pop songs? I'm so glad that you asked. So my favorite song is probably In Your Fantasy by ATEEZ. That's just such a banger, such a good song. Two is probably Loose from Enhypen. Three, Roar from ATEEZ. Four, Roar, It's You from ATEEZ. Five is Love Maze from BTS. Fucking banger, such a good song. Ceremony then from Stray Kids. Brought the Heat back from Enhypen. Then If You Wanna by Wonho because bro's fucking cooking on that song. I also love On from BTS. I also love Home from BTS and the song Ghost. I know that's 11. I know it's 11. Ghost from Stray Kids. I just love those songs so much. They're so good. They're just such good songs. I don't know. Like, but yeah, so I literally cannot wait for all these groups to go on tour again. Please, please, please go on tour again soon. Also, but also don't take your time, but also please to go on tour again. I literally cannot wait for BTS to go on tour. I will be in the fucking pit. I'm so excited. I cannot wait. I hope they do like some of their solo stuff like at the tour, but if they don't, like that's fine. BTS has so much music and so much of it is so good that I'm just really excited for everything that they do. Okay, so next Korean thing I've been getting into is K dramas. So I have fully watched four K dramas, and I'm currently watching a fifth. So we're gonna briefly talk about all of them, very briefly. I mean, actually, seriously. Um, Okay, so the first K-drama that I watched is Business Proposal here. Because after I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, everyone was like, "Oh my God, Jinu was in the show Business Proposal, and it's so cute." And I was like, "Okay, let me check it out." It's so cute. Business Proposal is really adorable. It's so funny too. I sounded like a crazy person when I was watching this because I was watching it alone, and I would be like laughing every 2 seconds because it's so funny. It's a really funny show. I really liked both main couples a lot. Secondary couple though, if you know, you know, they're awesome. But Business Proposal, super cute, very funny, very easy to watch, just overall very good time. Second show I watched was Crash Landing on You. This one here, fucking peak. I love Crash Landing on You. It's so good. I loved it so much. It's really funny and also serious in really good ways. I thought the writing was really good. I love the dialogue. Every character is so endearing. And one thing about the show that I like really appreciated is that I had genuinely no idea where the story was going. And so I was really surprised by like all of the turns that it took. And I loved it. It was so good. Crash Landing on You, definitely one of my favorites. It's so good. I loved it a lot. Really peak. Also, okay, next show I watched is The Trunk, pictured here. Did not love this show. I thought it was fine. I thought it had an interesting premise, which is why I tried it. And I did not like the ending at all. I thought that, I don't know, there wasn't that much romantic tension between the main couple. And I was overall just not really into them. It was a beautiful show, undoubtedly. Like, it was shot really well. But I had so many issues with the main girl. And I was like, I was kind of on the fence about it. I was like, well, like a good ending could kind of pull this together. But then I did not like the ending at all. I don't know. It's like after like all this like shit that both of them have been through, like the ending is like this weird, like semi-toxic like relationship that they've gotten into, and it's so weird. And I was like, why are we doing this? I don't know. I wouldn't really recommend that one. Like it was interesting, I guess, at points, but I just did not like a lot of what happened in it. I don't know. Especially like in the last two episodes. I don't know. Didn't love it. Right after that, I watched Alchemy of Souls, pictured over there and in the bottom. Peak. I fucking love Alchemy of Souls. It's so good. It's so good. The one thing, though, that everybody gets wrong about it is everyone says that season one is the best and that's the only one worth watching and that season two sucks. Are people crazy? Season two is awesome. Like, I loved both seasons equally. Shoot me if that's crazy. I'm sorry. Like, I really did. I thought both seasons were so good. And I was watching season one and I was really dreading season two because I'm like, fuck, like, so many people say that season two is a letdown and not as good. And then I loved season two. So I don't know what people are talking about. Like, the one thing I will say is I will grant the people who didn't love season two that there is definitely not as much plot in season two as there was in season one. There's really not as much political stuff, scheming. I will grant that I think that the plot of season one is better than season two. Like, all of the extra stuff, it kind of gets resolved at the end of season one, and then we kind of have to like do extra stuff in season two, which was not quite as interesting. But season two was much more romance focused, which I loved. Sue me, shoot me. I'm sorry. I thought it was awesome. Like, I thought the romance stuff in both seasons was really good. I thought it was really good. People complaining about the romance in season two, like, I'm sorry. Did when Charlie XTX said fall in love again and again, did that mean nothing to you bitches? Like, it was so good. I liked it a lot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought it was really good. I really, I just, I thought it was a really great show all around. I really liked it a lot. I thought it was a banger. Definitely, like, without a doubt, my two favorites are Crash Landing on You and Alchemy of Souls. If anybody is interested in K dramas, those two are my favorite. And yes, I've only watched four fully, but those two bangers. Um, Currently, I'm watching Mr. Sunshine, which I'm on episode 7, I want to say. And I'm really liking it. I'm learning a lot about Korean history, which is very fun because I just genuinely didn't know a lot about like Korean history from the late 1800s, early 1900s. So I'm learning a lot about that. That's cool. The romance is a little weird. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it because, the actors, like the main girl is 30 and the main guy is 50. So it's not terrible, but it's a little weird. It's a little weird. But I'm really into the plot of the show. So, and the romance has been like kind of on the back burner. And I think that Aishin, the main girl, she's really cute and endearing. And I really like Eugene. So I really like both of them individually. And I guess we'll just kind of see where the romance with them goes. I guess we'll see. But I really like the butcher's son, the Japanese dude. He's really cool. I really like the fiance, even though he's a weirdo because he's engaged to his cousin. Even though I know this is like the olden times and that's like whatever. But I do think he's interesting. I don't know. I just think that a lot of the characters are interesting. I really like Eugene getting closure on his past. I think the dynamic between the US military, the Japanese military, and the Korean like high families is all really interesting. I like kind of the plot of it and the politics of it all. I think it's really interesting. So, yeah, I'm just having fun with it and I will definitely keep going. I like it a lot. Um, okay, so now we've kind of come to the big dog, my hyperfixation that has consumed me body and soul unlike anything in recent memory. Literally, I mean, I haven't been this obsessed with something since like Haikyuu back in the day. And if you were there for that, you know how fucking crazy I was about that. Even though if we're comparing, I guess I might be a little more crazy about Haikyuu, but I still love this a lot. Like crazy, crazy, crazy. I'm insane. I'm off the fucking deep end. I'm crazy. Heated rivalry, bitches. Oh my god. This show is so good. I'm clinically addicted. There's literally no other way around it. I'm clinically actually literally addicted. I'm going through withdrawals every week between episodes. Like, I mean, I'm going to talk about it a bit, but if anybody is curious, please God watch this show. I have now converted 6 friends. Yes, 6 friends to watch the show. I am so proud of my accomplishment. This is a very big deal. I saw someone joke on TikTok that if Heated Rivalry was an MLM, that it would be really successful, and that's how I feel. I'm running the most successful Heated Rivalry MLM because I'm converting so many people, and then they're spreading it. It's like it really consumes every waking thought and feeling. I wake up in the morning thinking about this show. I go to sleep at night thinking about the show. If I don't consume enough content about the show in the day, I feel like I'm like going crazy. Like I'm like it's so good that I find it literally difficult to like think about anything else or like do anything else or like consume anything else. Like I really do truly love it so much. So I'm going to talk a little bit analytical about this show, just a little bit, because what makes this show so good is really interesting. So right now, as of the time of me recording this, we've had 4 episodes out. I cannot wait for episode 5. Oh my god. Okay, so I've read both books for Ilya and Shane. I've read Heated Rivalry and A Long Game. I am currently rereading The Long Game. I read The Long Game for the first time last week. I'm rereading it now. I'm almost done with it. I can't get enough. I'm going to read it probably 50 more times because I need because I need content about them all the time. And so when episode 4 aired, loved it, obviously. And then I went and finished from that point on through the rest of Heated Rivalry, the book, which I had already read. Because I read both Heated Rivalry and The Long Game last week. This week, I took from where episode 4 ended and finished the rest of the book, even though I had already read it before. And then I was like, well, I have to keep going. And so then I'm rereading The Long Game, which is fucking awesome. I can't wait for season 2. Got renewed for season 2. I can't wait. But Anyway, the aspect that I want to talk about in related to the show is how good of an adaptation it is from the source material, because I love the source material, clearly, and I think that the show is doing a really, really good job at adapting it. Um, the book itself is split between Shane and Ilya's perspectives. So we're kind of like, and we just kind of move between them pretty quickly. It's third person, and it's always pretty easy to tell whose point of view that we're in at the moment, but we kind of go from one guy's thoughts to the next and back and forth, and there's no real like breakup, but it's pretty easy to tell like whose thoughts that we're in. So because we get inner monologues from both Shane and Ilya, we as a reader have a really good handle on the truth of the situation. We get both sides of their relationship. Um, and so we get a lot of inner monologue through this in the book. Especially every time that Shane and Ilya are interacting with each other, we usually get a lot of extra context for what their thoughts are, which is obviously really difficult to portray in a show without narration. And I'm really glad that this show doesn't have narration. But the one aspect, or there's like several aspects that are in the book that are not quite in the show, just because like the manner of the medium, that it's very difficult to show some of this stuff um, without narration. But I think that the show does a really good job at adapting what is there so that we understand what the characters are thinking, even without narration. Um, I think I really have to tip my hat though to Hudson Williams and Connor Story, because their acting is really good. They're really doing a very good job, and they're really acting out every emotion that Shane and Ilya express very well. And it's very clear to us without overacting what they're feeling. And they also, the interviews with them is really interesting because they talk about how much care went into the show and how much effort everybody put into it, which, like, you really appreciate because, I mean, this was a show that was only supposed to be in Canada and then has just completely blown up to be this huge thing. And it's so, and it's really, everybody really appreciates how much work and effort everybody put into it. But when you listen to interviews with these two guys particularly, they're very thoughtful and careful and very, like, they really put a lot of like effort into the show, which you can really tell. And like the little emotions that they show is just crazy. It's crazy. Like they both do a really, really good job at it. Nothing is really overacted. And yes, you do get more context in the books, like obviously, but you really get like everything that they're feeling and the most important things that they're feeling in the show, which is really cool. I think that that's one aspect of the show that makes it so popular and successful. And I think that the directing, obviously, and the writing do really good jobs too. I really love the minor changes that the show has made from the book, because the minor changes have all been things that are like, a slightly extra scene or dialogue that's a little different. Just because we don't have that inner monologue, the slight changes really show what both of them are thinking and feeling, and they convey that information really effectively. Um, I like in episode 4 when Ilya's dad calls him, and we see how frustrated Ilya is with the whole situation back home in Russia. And before he goes and back to talk to Shane, he has to like touch his mother's cross and then like get back in the headspace of like being able to talk to Shane, which is not in the book and adds so much depth to everything, especially for what's going to happen next week. I won't spoil it, but it's just, it's like little stuff like that really adds a lot of depth and context to the show in really smart ways. And it's like, there's a lot of visual stuff with the show that is really smart, but the way that the show uses mirrors is so cool. Like, whenever there's a mirror in a scene, you know that it's going to be like something that's very self-reflective or um, will like kind of show a lot about the characters. And I just think that's really cool. It's a really cool visual motif to have throughout the show that I think is done really well. The lighting in this show is really good, which why the fuck does the gay hockey show have better lighting than Wicked? I mean, this show was made with $2 in a dream and it looks so good. It's genuinely really impressive what they were able to do. And like especially another aspect that I think is really interesting is that everybody who loves the books also loves the show. I mean, there's definitely people who are like, oh, you should read the books too, which I'm absolutely in that camp. If you love the show, please, please, please read the books. But they're more like companions to each other. No one is like, oh, don't watch the show, just read the books. Everybody loves both of them, which is really rare. Like that does not happen where especially people who love something this fiercely because everybody is not normal about this show or the books. Like everybody loves both, which I think goes to show just how good of an adaptation this is and how other like I don't know, I just think it was really really well done. And yeah, I everything about the show makes me go crazy and it makes me so psychotic, obviously, and I can't get enough. I just can't. I literally cannot get enough. um, okay, and okay, so I'm gonna go a little bit off on a tangent about this show, and you're just gonna have to walk with me. Okay, you're just gonna have to walk with me. Okay, so so I'm gonna talk about the comparisons between Shane and Zuko. If you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, I'm gonna spoil it. Um, but I think that both Shane and Zuko go through similar arcs. And if you look at both of their arcs in connection to each other, you can like kind of get more. Like when you compare Shane to Zuko, it's like you can understand more about Shane through looking at his journey through Zuko. But okay, so they both the arcs that Shane and Zuko go on, which I'm not going to spoil the show, by the way. Heated Rivalry a little bit, tiny, tiny, tiny bit, but not substantially. Okay, so at the end, I'm going to talk about Zuko a little bit. Okay, so at the end of season 2 of Avatar, Zuko is faced with his most difficult decision yet. Throughout all of season 2, Zuko has been changing. He has been formally kicked out of the military. He and Iroh have been traveling around the Earth Kingdom before they settle in Ba Sing Se and work at a tea shop. Zuko is getting the taste of the normal life, one without pressure or expectation of honor. He is not the Fire Prince. He isn't even a firebender. He has to keep that part of himself secret. He has slowly seen the corruption of the Fire Nation across the Earth Kingdom and coming to the realization that maybe the war he was fighting wasn't a right one. Iroh is there to guide him, and then it all comes to together at the end of season 2 in the Crystal Caves under Ba Sing Se. Zuko meets Katara as they're both held captive in the Crystal Caves, and she offers to heal him, and they have a kind of understanding. They come to kind of understanding because the Fire Nation killed both of their mothers. But in the moment of truth, when it all mattered the most, Zuko went against Iroh, Aang, and Katara and sided with Azula. He was given through Azula. Azula is asking him, hey, are you going to fight with me or are you going to fight with the Avatar? And he is given the opportunity to finally be everything that he has always dreamed of. And Azula is offering that to him on a silver plate. Azula even makes everything better for Zuko by giving him credit for killing the Avatar. In season 3, then, when he is in the Fire Nation, he gets the life that he has always dreamed of. His father respects him. He has the girlfriend that's also in the Fire Nation. He's living in the palace. He should be happy. But we learn that he's never been angrier. Getting the life that he has always wanted has not quieted the torment within him, it has only amplified it. Because he spent all of season 2 learning and experiencing life outside of the Fire Nation, he has already changed. He will never be the prince that he has always hoped. And that is crushing for him, but also liberating. He gives the whole life a final chance when he talks to Ozai on the day of Black Sun, when he finds out that it will never be what he wants to be. He will never be who his father wants. He will never be what he wants of himself. He leaves and joins Aang and crew. And but Zuko getting that life, the perfect life that he thought he wanted, is what finally shows him that that's not what he wanted. Only when he attains his dreams can he find that he is changed to be something different. Joining the Avatar crew and teaching Aang firebending finally gives him the understanding of himself that he has always wanted. And it comes at accepting who he is and that he's different than what he hoped. Shane goes through the same arc. He's been hooking up with Ilya now for 7 years by this point, always casual with months in between. All the talking and flirting is easy, low stakes. Even though during that time, Shane's feelings for Ilya have only been getting stronger and Ilya's feelings for Shane, vice versa. Then, during the tuna melt scene in episode 4, it all comes crashing down. When Ilya says his first name, he is presented with the same predicament that Zuko is. Does he take a leap of faith and accept who he is despite his inner turmoil, or does he try at living the life that he's always wanted for himself? Both Zuko and Shane make the same decision. The allure of having the life that they imagined is too strong. Both Shane and Zuko were given the opportunity to live their ideal life after the hardest pull to the opposite side, scaring both of them. When Shane is really fully confronted with the enormity of his feelings for Ilya and how much Ilya likes him in return, which is just by saying their first names and like kissing each other, like for real, even though they've been kissing each other for 7 years. But when Shane is really actually confronted with all of that, he runs in the opposite direction and gets a girlfriend. And he gets the perfect girlfriend. That's really important. Rose Landry is gorgeous, smart, funny, charming, and a famous movie star. She's the girlfriend that every man would kill to have. And Shane genuinely enjoys being around her because she's a good person. So Shane desperately tries to make this work because it is the easier life and the life that he always pictured for himself, the life that he imagined, the life that would be easier. And it would just be so much easier if he loved Rose. So he tries. Even though when he's like, when we see at the end of episode 4, when he's going to walk up to have sex with her, he is so miserable. He looks like people have been joking on, I saw a tweet that was like, Shane looks like he's about to get a root canal when he's really about to have sex with the most beautiful woman in the world, which is really funny. But it's really important for Shane to be put in the position to have the perfect girlfriend for him to realize that this is not the life that he wants and will not make him happy. The path that is for him is the one that is more difficult, being with Ilya, but ultimately worth the struggle because it will lead to an actual happy life with Ilya and real love. Um, no matter how much we try, we cannot deny who we truly are. Both Shane and Zuko really want the easier life, the supposedly perfect life that makes everyone around them happier, that pleases their parents, that pleases like all of their friends, everyone in their work ish scenarios. Is it? It's a little difficult to say what Zuko does his work, but I guess it is. But by living the perfect life that they have imagined for themselves, both Shane and Zuko only intensify their turmoil and misery, which in and of itself is misery inducing because they have to change their expectations of who they are. But when they take that leap of faith and go against what they expected for themselves, they open themselves up to finally knowing themselves. Change for Zuko is hard fought and not easy, but because of his experiences in the Fire Nation, he knows that change is worth fighting for. Shane fights against his love for Ilya because being gay in the NHL is incredibly difficult, and being in love with Ilya, his rival of all people, makes it even more difficult. But through his experience with Rose, he learns that Ilya is worth fighting for. Both Shane and Zuko's time in their ideal lives is incredibly key to understanding themselves and ultimately leading a fulfilling life. Um, yeah, I just feel like both of them, like when you see, if you look at Shane getting with Rose as Zuko's time in the Fire Nation in season 3, it's like it makes a lot more sense why he has to do that and why that's something he has to go through, even though it makes Ilya miserable and it makes Shane even more miserable. But it's really important for Shane to kind of go through that to truly understand that he is actually gay and he has no choice in who he's attracted to and who he loves, and that his life is going to be more difficult, but it'll be one that's worth living. Um, so, yeah, that's about all I have for this PowerPoint. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that everyone got something out of this. I had fun with it. So